Hello and welcome to today's video. Today, I'm doing a video discussing some Overwatch League things. Now, we haven't talked about Overwatch League in a while on the channel, and it's just because there's been, I guess I could say that I have less of an interest in it this season, just because I feel like there's more teams, less games. Your team might only play once a week. I don't know, there's just been less interest in general for me, personally. Overall, Overwatch League's doing great, viewer-wise. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because I have realized that there's been a while in between games. There hasn't really been regular season play in almost a month. We did have the All-Star game, which I didn't watch, and the Stage 2 playoffs, which I didn't watch. Essentially, this is about player burnout and how I find that to be a ridiculous thing. Now, player burnout, for those of you who don't know, is basically when players complain that they're tired of playing Overwatch or something. I don't know. It's kind of just an excuse to complain. Now, I've noticed this mostly with the American players. I know that there was one Korean player, he was on Dallas Fuel last year, who did stop playing for a little bit. But for the majority of it, it has been the American players. And I don't know, player burnout to me is kind of dumb. First of all, as part of the reason why there's this massive break in the stages and the massive break here in the middle of the season, to give players time to not play the game. So, essentially, they're complaining about getting paid to play Overwatch. Now, you can compare this to players in basketball, as I'm wearing this basketball jersey. I figure we'll use that as an analogy. As players, having a rest game or something like that. But typically, first of all, basketball is more physical, more demanding. Now, of course, when they play Overwatch, I'm not denying the fact of the physical toll that it takes on your hand, specifically on your wrist when you move the mouse. Because obviously Overwatch League is played on PC games, not on the console. Which, again, after a while, your hand does start to hurt when you hold the controller for a day of playing. But that's not what we're discussing here. In basketball, getting a rest night isn't necessarily a problem. You get a rest night on a back-to-back on a travel game, The Warriors might say, okay, we're playing Atlanta and Charlotte, who are two non-playoff teams. Let's rest Kevin Durant when we play Atlanta, Your two travel games, back-to-back nights, let's just rest one of our stars, Something like that. You're playing against teams that aren't playoff teams, they're not big rivalries, we're in Atlanta, let's rest Kevin Durant, something like that. I mean, I don't really see how that's a problem. But when it comes to Overwatch League, these players have to spend a couple hours a day practicing in a house that they have that they can live in for free, with food that's provided by the teams. And then you play 4 maps, maybe 5, on stage, once a week, maybe twice. So you may play max 10 maps on stage, couple hours of practice, a few hours of live streaming to make some more money on the side, not to count the fact that you're already making minimum $50,000 a year. Again, the $50,000 is minimum set by Blizzard and the Overwatch League. You can be given a bigger contract, which I'm sure some of the star players have more than a $50,000 contract in the Overwatch League. But again, your max playing time in a week, I'm going to say, is 12 hours, maybe 14. You practice, twice a week, 3 times a week? That's 2 hours each. That's 4 hours. 4 hours on stage, that's 8 hours. Maybe you stream a little bit more. Maybe you're up to 12, or maybe you're up to 14, 16 hours. less than a day of playing in your entire week. Come on. And complaining about being tired and complaining about being not wanting to play the game. I mean, you're getting paid to play damn video games. Like, come on. The only physical toll it's taking is on your wrist, and you're going to play for like 3 or 4 years, make a lot of money, live stream, build your brand online, which is another thing. You get to build your online brand because you're in the Overwatch League, which is the highest level esports I believe that there is in the world. I don't know if there's anything that's more successful at that level as Overwatch League. So I don't really see what you're complaining about. So the fact that here Blizzard and Overwatch League have taken the initiative to say, all right, less games in a season, down from 40 to 28. Each stage is going to contain 7 games. And, you know, the break in between stage 2 and 3 is going to be a month. Like, if you don't make the stage playoffs, your team has a month off from playing. So, we'll take Seoul Dynasty. My favorite team, for example, didn't make the stage 2 playoffs. They get the stage playoff week, the All-Star week. Most of the players, if you didn't make the All-Star game, which I think only like 2 of them did, they all get another week off. You have this last week or 2 weeks ago and last week. I don't know. It's just, I find it obnoxious to complain about it, have a big deal about it. You'll definitely see it from the players on specific teams, especially the teams with more of an American roster. I know Houston has that as an issue. I'm not here just to bash on Houston as I typically do. I've seen comments from that team, players on that team specifically. I wouldn't be surprised if a team like San Francisco had the same issues. But yeah, that's the thing. You can see teams like that. They'll be like, oh, player burnout. Like, come on. You play video games like all the time. I play video games for a whole day. Like, what? I mean, what do you want? I could tell that my eye hurts from playing for a couple days, but they probably aren't spending 2 days straight playing. I spent most of yesterday playing, and if I wasn't, I was watching TV because this was what was on, you know? 2 days. Yesterday I watched a TV show. The day before I watched NBA Finals. Like, I was playing video games, watching TV. That makes sense when my eye hurts and why it's a little red. You probably can see a little bit in there. It's a little red. It's not as bad as it was yesterday, but, like, I don't know. It's just mind-blowing to see this be built into the schedule. That's, I think, the thing about it. I just wonder what's going to happen next year when there's home and away games and these players have to travel. Like, I have a feeling they'll set up the schedule where you don't have to travel far. You're not going to play one day in Seoul and the next day in, like, New York. But I don't know. Like, how is that going to work out? I can see that becoming a problem with a lot of the players. But either way, that's my thoughts on player burnout. I just feel like it's a dumb thing. If you're making minimum $50,000 to play 5 maps on stage and practice for a couple hours, live stream for a couple hours. I said before 16 hours. I said 12, pushed up to 16 with the potential live streaming, which not everybody does. Most players are going to say between 12 and 16 hours a week playing Overwatch. Not this week, because I've been playing Minecraft a lot, but weeks before that, I've spent that much time in Overwatch myself. It's not that uncommon. I literally played essentially an on-stage match yesterday. You know, I get people can say there's more pressure being on stage, but if you're locked into the game and focused, you're going to block that out. Plus, you're wearing noise-canceling headphones, you're going to block out the crowd. Unless they're so loud to go over, which can happen, but uncommon because it's a video game. But I don't know. This is my issue with esports. I like esports, but I also don't at the same time. I like Overwatch League, but most esports are just annoying, and this is part of the thing that I don't like even about Overwatch League, is just the obnoxious things like this. You know, I get in other sports. If you're playing basketball and you're like, okay, I'm going to take 5 games off this season, not counting injuries. You're still playing 70-something games. Like, this physical time you're spending. If you're a star player, you could spend 32, 35, 38 minutes on the court of 48 minutes. Like, you're spending most of the time on the court running back and forth. Like, that's intense. Football, American football, because I'm in America. If you're watching another country, American football. I mean, we can even take soccer as an example as well. Both sports. Very much a physical sport. I'd say soccer could potentially be more than football here. Just because soccer is 90 minutes of running back and forth with no timeouts unless the player gets injured. And you're not getting a break. So, I mean, you have a halftime break. I was watching soccer today, actually. Japan and Korea in the U20 World Cup 2019. Like, they were running back and forth the entire game. Like, that's when I can see, okay, I am tired, I need a break. But to be burnt out from playing is just, to me, I get taking a day off from video games. Don't get me wrong. I've taken a day off, but you don't need 2 weeks off. You know, especially these players get multiple days off. It's not like you're playing every day. Like, if your team plays on a Thursday, you might play on Saturday. You might play Sunday. You rarely have back-to-back games. Like, you're not going to honestly pull that you're that tired of playing the game. It's just insane. It's obnoxious. And, that's all I'm going to say on that. I'm done. Stage 3 begins soon. I don't really care. There won't be more videos on Overwatch League this year. I have less of an interest in things like this. They're just super, super obnoxious, and this is something I want to make a video on before, and just the other day I thought about it, and I'm just like, you know what? The amount of time these players have off on a stage is ridiculous. I'm making a video on this. So I hope everybody enjoyed. Leave your comments down below what you think on player burnout. Do you think it's real? Not do you think it's real, but do you think that it's a viable thing? I'm not denying that it's real. I'm just saying it's obnoxious that it exists. Tell me your thoughts on it existing. Tell me if you think player burnout's okay, or whatever. But I don't think that it's really a problem. I do want to give my example of why I didn't play for one day. Real quick. I know I said I was ending the video. I didn't want to play one day because I was really mad at the game. Because I was playing against Baptiste, who, first of all, is a total tool. Baptiste is honestly one of the worst characters ever in Overwatch. And I hate that he exists. But this dude just has, like, his little thing where he goes like this and he gets, like, extra help. I don't know what he does. I don't play Baptiste. I'm not a loser. Then he gets his healing, and he gets his stupid shield or his barrier, whatever the hell it's called. His stay alive bullshit. I was so mad that I do Baptiste twice. I just got up and I kicked some shit across my room. I mean, I'm just like, I'm not playing the next day. I just can't. But that didn't happen in Overwatch League. Honestly, I couldn't be in Overwatch League. I'd, like, break a monitor or some shit. I get so mad at video games. I'm not going to say, like, I rage at video games often, but there are moments when I just get so mad dying to dumb shit that I broke a headset playing video games before. I just chucked it on the ground. Sometimes it happens. I think it happens to everybody. I know my brother got mad years ago playing Call of Duty. He threw the game in the garbage. And my mom took the garbage out to the road. So my mom's out there, my brother's girlfriend, they were both out there, you know, digging through the garbage trying to find his disc. But I think everybody's mad at video games sometimes. But either way, player burnout's dumb. Baptiste is dumb. This video is done. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Oh yeah, also this doesn't count for the Return to Summer. We will have a video tomorrow for Return to Summer. I will look at my collection of hats. And I go through some of my favorite ones and how I got them, why I got them, all that stuff. So make sure you check that out tomorrow.